We just always
Melissa Ohden always knew she was adopted.
And it wasn't ever anything like I was adopted and it's a wrong thing or it's a bad thing. It was, we love you. You were chosen to be our child. We didn't give birth to you, but God intended for you to be our child. And so that was always something that I felt so special about.
But nothing could prepare Melissa for what she would learn about her past. She says she first found out during an argument with her older sister.
And she said, you know, at least my parents wanted me. Which was such an odd thing for somebody who's adopted to say to somebody else who's adopted. And she encouraged me that night. She said, you know, you need to wait up for Mom and you need to ask her to tell you the truth. And I could have never imagined in a million years what the truth was. She said, we love you and we'll always love you. And then the words just came out of her mouth. She said, Melissa, your mother had an abortion during her 5th month of pregnancy with you, and you survived it.
Melissa was a survivor of a failed saline infusion abortion.
And it was devastating. And there are no words that I can really find to describe it, but looking back on that day, for me it's kind of like when you're a kid and you fall off the jungle gym and you get the wind knocked out of you, you can't breathe, everything hurts in your body. And that night was exactly like that for me. You know, as much as I knew that God saved my life for a purpose, and I had so much joy knowing that I was saved, I was ripped apart.
Emotionally affected by this news, everything Melissa thought she knew about herself and her past quickly dissolved. Filled with questions, she started to learn more about her birth parents.
You know, my biological mother was 19 years old when she had that abortion. She was a college student. She wasn't married. And what I have learned over the last few years is that, like most women, she really didn't have a choice when it came to ending my life. One of her parents made that decision for her.
But no one expected the child they so desperately wanted to get rid of to survive.
You know, I've been so blessed in my life to know some of the nurses who cared for me. I've met 2 of them, and I know a doctor who had cared for me. But, you know, from what I've been told after I survived that failed abortion, I was believed to be dead, and that I was left for dead there in my mother's hospital room. And as the nurse was tending to my biological mother, she noticed that I was making grunting noises and small movements, and that I had been born alive, that abortion had not succeeded. And certainly the doctors and nurses then stepped in and provided me medical care.
None of the doctors who examined Melissa at birth or years following can explain how she survived the abortion attempt without any lasting physical ailments.
And the doctors have made it clear there is no medical reason why I survived that failed abortion. It should have scalded me to death while I was still in my mother's womb. But I've walked away unscathed. Physically, I have no consequences from that failed saline infusion abortion all those years ago. But I'm the only survivor that I know of around the world who hasn't suffered physical consequences.
But even though physically healthy and whole, Melissa admits emotionally she was in pieces, filled with anger towards her biological parents.
I couldn't understand at the age of 14 how any parent could make that decision to end their child's life. I was angry that night for the first time ever at my biological parents.
Soon, that anger started to dissolve as she thought about what God had saved her from.
I really have nothing to be angry about. You know, I've been blessed in so many ways. God saved my life. God redeemed me. And I can't imagine what it was like for them, for my biological parents to know that they were ending the life of their child.
It soon became important for Melissa to find her biological parents. She committed every waking moment to finding those who had given her up years ago.
I felt like I wanted to know some of the answers, and I felt like I deserved to know. You know, why is it that my life was just a choice for someone? You know, and so when I was about 19, that's kind of the spot that I was in of, you know, I need to know the truth. But more importantly, at 19, I really wanted to find them because I knew that I would do this with my life someday. And I wanted them to find out from me first that I was alive and well, and that I had forgiven them a long time ago for that decision made to end my life. And so that was the most important thing for me reaching out to them, is to let them know that I forgave them.
It took 10 years, but Melissa did find her biological father. They lived in the very same town.
And so after a couple of months of praying, I got the message that I needed to contact him. So I sent my father a letter, and I sent it to his workplace and not his house, because I didn't know if he'd ever told anybody about me, and I didn't want to make his life any more difficult. And, in the letter I said, I've forgiven you. I know the truth about the abortion. I can only hope you've forgiven yourself and you've asked for forgiveness. I told him what a blessed life I've lived, and I said, here we are living in the same city as each other. If you ever want to communicate with me or have a relationship, I'll be waiting. And I'm still waiting.
Wondering if he ever received the letter, Melissa waited for months for some response. Then, 8 months later, through a simple internet search, she found out that he had passed away.
All those months I had felt like, there it is again, Melissa. Something is so wrong with you that first, your life is supposed to end by an abortion, and then secondly, people can't even bring themselves to respond to a letter that you sent them. But I can't imagine what that was like for him. I can only hope that it brought him peace, knowing that I was okay and that I had forgiven him. And, after he passed away, his family cleaned out his office, and they found the letter that I had sent him.
So he had received it. He did receive it.
Yeah, he had received it, and he had read it, and it was tucked away in his top desk drawer. And his family really believes that was a sign from him that he knew I was his child, and that he was going to do something about it someday. But how sad that he was never given that opportunity.
Melissa also found her maternal grandparents around the same time she found her father, sending them a similar letter. But after receiving a response from her grandfather in 2007, sharing some details about her biological mother, she has yet to hear from her.
Think about what it was like for my mother that night.
Today, Melissa travels around the world speaking to school groups, church groups, and at pro-life rallies, sharing her story of faith and survival, encouraging people to think twice about aborting their unborn child. In Canada alone, nearly 100,000 children are aborted each year. And in the U.S., where Melissa's from, the numbers are estimated to be close to 1.2 million. Melissa has literally put a face to this ever-growing issue.
When I found out the truth about being a survivor, I knew in my heart that this is what I was going to do. God was just whispering in my ear all those years, it's time, Melissa. You know what I saved your life for. And I'd get really nervous, and I'd start saying to God, I know what I'm supposed to do, but please don't make me do it. I think the most telling moment for me was thinking in my head, how could I stand before him someday and say, thank you so much for the gift of life, but I'm so sorry that I never felt good enough to do what you saved me for. Lord, I could never stand before you and say, your grace just wasn't enough for me. And that makes it easy for me to do what I do, because I know I'm going to stand before him someday and say, I think I did the best I could. I'm never going to know in this world all of the changes that I hopefully make. But I have the utmost faith that I'm doing exactly what he saved me for.
And part of that has been becoming a mother herself. In April 2008, Melissa and her husband Ryan welcomed their daughter Olivia into the world. Born in the very same hospital Melissa was born in years ago. She says the place that symbolized such a dark chapter in her life has now been redeemed.
In 2007, about the same time I was first coming forward with my story publicly, we found out we were pregnant with Olivia. And I know that was just God saying, Melissa, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to with your life, and here's how I'm going to bless you as a result. And Olivia has changed my life. I'm so blessed. There are moments in my life where I just think, could it get any better than this? I'm saved from the death of abortion. I'm able to give my life to serve God. And then he blesses me with my husband and our daughter. It is mind-blowing to me. All of us make mistakes in this world.
In Brentford, Ontario, Magdalene John, 100 Huntley Street.
And all of us are forgiven